Hello everyone, so we are going live now, and I was just checking my network connectivity here, and it's showing that it is not good. So I don't know how you're able to hear my voice. I don't know if it is lagging there, and I'm not sharing my screen yet. I'm doing that now, so let me just click on this. I'm sharing my screen with you. We are live now. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen, everyone. Okay, so Faz says today is not a Friday, sir. Okay, okay, today is not Friday. I know. The thing is, the project is going, very slow. So I thought of increasing the pace, and I'm taking a session today as well. I was a bit busy today, as per the plan, but then I took out some time to take this session. So. All right, so I can see the screen is blurred here, and okay, so streaming is not going the way I wanted it to go. Okay. Or let me just check if you have some settings so that I can increase my screen resolution. Okay, just hold on, just hold on, just hold on. Let me just check if you have that setting here. If I go to live control room. Okay, it still says the streaming is not good. Streaming is okay, it says. Let me just change to my different route. Okay, so I just hope it will go good for this session. Let me just start this session now. So I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see my screen, everyone. And if you can hear me, just let me know if my voice is properly audible or not. Okay, so let's answer some questions first. So we got some questions. Pramod says, I got scared. Okay, that's fine. I guess I will say hello next time very slowly. And then Chetan says, what about TIBCO web service? So TIBCO is, I guess it is used for messaging services, right? We are not using any messages service here, so I'll be not using, okay, I mean, I don't have much idea on that. I don't even know how that works. Okay, my network is not consistent. Let me just change that to, again, a different router. Sorry for the trouble, everyone. Sorry for the trouble. I'm facing some network issue. Yeah, so I'm facing some network issue here, and I'm continuously changing my router from one router to other router. Let's see how it goes now. Okay, so you can see my screen, right, everyone? So, okay, so let me just start the recording from my side. So this session will be recorded from now, and okay, so before that, I want to change my font size of the STS. What I will also do is I will simply reduce the resolution of the screen. I hope that will work. And the font size now should go to Like 14 font size is better than 16. Okay, so you can see my screen, right, everyone? So let me start the session now. And I can see 20 people are watching this, and I got only 9 likes. So just click on the like button so that I will know that you're excited. Okay, so 12 likes. Okay. Okay, it says I'm not properly audible. Okay, that's fine. You can just watch this video later as well. So I'm starting the recording now. So I can't do anything for that now. I don't have a choice. Uh, Okay, so let me start the recording. So I'm clicking on the record button and it says 3, 2, and 1. So, okay, so what we'll do now is today we'll focus on the question module. So I want to add a question in a database. See, I want two things. First of all, I want to add questions in a database. And second, I want you people to help me with this. Again, I'm not getting a good response from you people. I mean, I'm getting some designs from some people, but I was expecting that I will be getting the design from lots of people. I'm not getting that. So currently, I'm not that motivated. I was initially I was very excited, but then I'm not getting the response I should be getting because I want designs, right? I'm not getting much designs here. Only Karthik and Darshan. I got designs from them. Okay, so the next thing which I want to make is this test module. So if you can see on my website, so there's an option of test, and you can give test with or without login. Initially, we'll go for test without login, where I don't want user to log in to give a test. So I'll click on this, and you can see after 2 seconds of this starting the test, we should be getting a question here. So there will be a timer. So this is what I want. So let's imagine if you have 50 questions on the server. I will give you the link of getting all the questions. So I will give you 50 questions, or maybe 10 questions initially. So I will give you 10 questions. What you have to do is, you have to accept those. I mean, you have to accept those 10 questions, and you have to show your thing in this way. So you have to show which of this. I mean, you have to show the question, and then you have to show the options as well. So if I select the second option, if I say next, then it should give the second question, which is this one. Let's say if I go for method doubling, I don't know what this question and answer means. I'm going for a random question and answer. If about next, and then extend. I'm giving wrong all wrong answer. If I click on and test, of course I will get 0 marks. So you can see we got a marks which is 0 here. So this is what I'm expecting from you. So give me this page, the question page and the result page. So the thing is, I'm expecting from you something this way, question and options. And if I select whatever options, so at the end of the test, so if I click on end of the test, you have to send all this question. So you have to send the question ID. You can see the address bar. You have to send the question ID and the answer. You have to send this too on the server side. So on the server side, we have to accept those values, and you have to process the values. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting from you people. But then today I will create a module where you can add the question. If I don't get a proper response this time, I might not go ahead with live project, because if I'm not getting a response, why I will make it live, right? So it is not making sense. So okay, so come on, you have to do it, right? So let's do that. Okay, so what I will do now is, so we want to add a question in a database. So first of all, let me check, do we have a table here? So I will open my PG admin. So as you can, if you remember, in the last session, in the last online, live project, we have created a database connection with the Amazon Web Service. And that connection is this one, which is AWS dot, this is the connection. It will take some time to get connected. Okay. It's working very slow. Okay, let me just close this PG admin. Let me just reopen it. When a maximum time developers spend their time like this, they simply close the application, they reopen the application. It's taking some time. Let me just do that. So if I click on the AWS now, Okay, so just taking some time. Let's wait for that. Okay, it's actually taking lots of time now. This is not how it should work, right? Okay, by the time it connects, what we'll do is, let's go back to our Spring project, and here, what we'll do is okay, so what I have done behind the scene is, I have created one more controller. Okay, first of all, I have created one controller in the index controller, the things which we are written last time, and then we are calling for question.htm. So when I run this code, let me just run this code, and when I call for question.htm, we'll say run on server. When I click on finish, okay, so if I request for question now, because I want to add questions, right? Because in table I don't have any questions, I will say question.htm so that I want to add questions. It should show me a page where it will ask for the questions. I mean the question, then yeah, it will ask you for the I guess it is making a connection with this server. Now, if you remember last session, okay, nothing is working properly here. Okay, this is really weird. The thing is, I also need to have a local database, because I will test that in a local database, right? So this is not getting connected. So what I will do is I will change this setting. So before changing the setting, I will just copy this, because I want to re-change this value when I do the configuration. So I will copy this and I will open my Sublime. Let me just paste this setting and let me just save it somewhere. Okay, full form of AWS. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. It's not getting connected. Asking for the password. Okay, let me say okay, and it's doing something now. Okay, by the time I will use a local machine, local network, and it's very slow, very slow. Let me get a local database. Let's work with the local database here. So I will use MySQL as a local database, and then I will use Postgres for the server side, okay? And in my MySQL, I do have the database, which is question. Okay, so what I will do now is I will open MySQL Workbench so that, oh, we got the connection with the Amazon Web Service. That's good, we got the connection there. But then still we'll be using the local database, because the network is very slow today. Again, I'm shifting this office to another place. So maybe after shifting, I'm shifting this on 2nd May. So maybe after shifting, it will give me better connectivity. Let's hope. Okay, so we'll say edit connection. The IP address now is, okay, I know you cannot see the screen. Okay, let me just open MySQL Workbench. Okay, password for this is this one. Let me just say successful. Click on close. Okay, let me just open this. And so if I open this, you can see in my Telusko database, I do have a question table. So let me just open. You can see we have a question table. And if I say use Telusko and select star from question, and if I fire this query, of course, you will get a table. But again, since my network is very slow, it will take some time. Okay, so we got a question from Pushkar. And okay, what is Postgres? So Postgres is same like MySQL. It's a DBMS. Okay, so Vamsi says, "Pro, send the link before the session." I mean, I'm sending the link in the group. So Vamsi, you have to be a part of the group So on Facebook, we have a group called as Telusko Live Project, and you have to be part of that project to get live updates. Okay, so make sure you are a part of that. Okay, and my network is dying. Okay, let me just open this thing. I don't know why I feel I should reconnect, but then things might work. And let me just do local connection. I will say MySQL dot so com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Okay, and then I also needed the MySQL connector. Yesterday we have deleted that part. Let's keep both the dependency. Let's keep MySQL and Postgres in the system. And here I will simply put that stuff. Let me just put the MySQL thing. Okay, so if you are wondering that my machine is slow, actually the problem is not with the machine. The problem is with the network. I don't know why it is not working properly. Every time I connect with my local server or the web server, it gives me the trouble. And you can see my MySQL is not working properly now. Nothing is going in our way today. And that's the developer life, right? That's what I'm doing now. But then even my local server, my MySQL, in fact, my machine doesn't have a MySQL server. It is not working properly. So I'm using the another machine, MySQL Workbench. So that is not working properly. So if I say use Telusko, okay, it's not working properly here. In fact, I feel I should create my own PG database, here. So, okay, let me just use the local database. So you can see in my system, I do have a local database. I will use Postgres. And I do have a table there. Okay. So I will use Navin database. In my Navin database, I have public tables. I do have some tables here. So I will be creating a table which is called as a question table. So let me create a table here called as question. And in this table question, I will be having some columns. I will add the column which is, I will name this column name as a QID, and the type of QID will be integer. Okay, then we have, oh, I also wanted it to be primary key. Then we got question. Okay, so we'll say data type, this would be, okay. Okay, so I will be using data type which is text for question. And then the next word would be, I want to add the option 1, because every question will have 4 options, right? So we'll say option which is text. And then we'll say opt2. And guys, I also need a feedback here. I mean, if you're enjoying these type of sessions, should I continue with this type of sessions in future? Because the response, the type of response I'm getting is not that, I mean, I'm getting a very low response. I was expecting something good, but then I'm not getting the response I was expecting. But then, okay. So let me know the response, I mean, know the feedback. What's going wrong? What else, what you wanted? Okay, so I got my table here, so I'm saying, okay, and I got this table where we have all these fields, and I will click on okay, so I got my table. So I'll be using a local table here, local database, and the database name is, so let's not use MySQL, let's only work on Postgres. Okay, so I will say, so I'm not using MySQL, I'm using Postgres again, because nothing is working properly. So we have to do some trial errors, right? Okay, and this time we'll simply mention, instead of mentioning all this big thing, we'll simply mention the database name. We'll say, in fact, we don't have to mention all these things. We can simply say localhost. Okay, we'll say Telusko. Telusko is not my project name. It's my Naveen is my database name. Okay, and the username is Postgres. I guess I have to change this every time I do deploy and test. So password for me is 0. Now that sounds good. We got all these details here. Now what I will do is, okay, so what I've done is we have created this controller, which is a question controller. And this should work now if I restart the server. Let me just do that here. So I will restart the server. Okay. I just want to change one more thing. This should not be string. It should be int. So let me just run this server, right-click and run as, oh, we got an error here. Oh, it is set question ID is, okay, everywhere we have to make it int now. Right-click, run on server. This is a kind of boring session, right, compared to the last 2 sessions. Okay, so Vinay say, okay, Akshay says the steps. So I have a playlist. Akshay, just search for the a playlist on my channel, the newly created playlist, and you will get all the steps there. So it's a question.htm, not htm, it's htm, and it should give you the page which is question. It should give you JC page now. Okay, this is the JC page which we have created. So don't look at the design here. Don't look at the design. So we'll enter the question ID as 1, and we'll mention the question, whatever question we have, whatever option you have. Doesn't matter what is the option. Okay, and we have to also set the answer. Okay, answer is not coming here because the design problem, I guess. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So whatever data you're getting, I want to store this data in a database. Again, I want you people to give me the design. Okay, send me a good design for this. And if I click on submit, it should send a request to this server. And you can see I'm getting some issues here. So let's try to solve this. Now, first of all, to make it work, we have to send a request to the question controller, right? So what is happening now is, whenever you request for question.htm, so whenever you request for question.htm, yes, Karthik, CSS is missing here. So actually, I got the CSS, but then I guess I have not added the CSS in my project. Okay. So when I say question.htm, when the request goes here, it will call question.jsp, and I already have a question.jsp, which is this one. So in this question.jsp, you can see this is our design, and the moment you click on submit, the request goes to another controller. With the request goes as save question, and all the parameters goes here. Okay, so all the parameters comes here. Now, once you got a parameter, I will be calling. So after adding the question, I will not be calling question.jsp. I will be calling print. I just want to check if it is creating print, right? So I will say print questions.jsp. I want to call this page, and this page will be printing all the questions. Okay, that sounds good. So I got this question here, and this question will be having all these values. Now, okay, instead of this, we could have actually used a model attribute object, right? So we have seen that before. So we could have used model attribute object. Okay, let me just remove all this thing. See, that's the issue with the request param, right? We should be using model attribute here. That will make more sense. So we'll be using model attribute. Okay, and we'll mention question queue. So in this queue, we got all the values. You don't have to set the values by yourself, one values. Okay, so we can just remove this thing. Okay. Now I want to add this value in a database, right? So from this controller, I have to add the data in a database. So I will be using a DAO layer, right? So we have used DAO layer before. So let's use that here. Now, how do we create object of DAO layer? So we can simply create an object of feedback DAO, which we have done in the index controller, if you remember. So you can see we just have to use auto wired. Oh, we have to create one more DAO layer, which is for questions now. And we already have that. So I will say question DAO. I've created this file, which is question DAO. And we'll name this as Q DAO. Okay. And then, what's that? Okay. So you can see we got Q DAO. And then in this Q DAO, I will say Q DAO dot. And I will simply say add question. This is the method. Okay, I have to verify which method I'm using there. So in this, I'm using a method called a save question. Okay, I will be using save question method name. So I will say save question, and I will pass the object. And I want to pass the object which is Q. So I need to accept that question here. So I will say question Q. That sounds good. Everything seems good here. Okay, so I will repeat the flow once again. And in fact, this code will be available on the GitHub. So once the session is done, this code will be available on GitHub. Okay, so I'll be saying save question, but then this is giving me an error. Is it any error there? Okay, you got the save question, but then save question returns a question. We don't want to do that. We'll say void. So this code is done by someone else. So I just want to figure it out what is happening here. So we got the save question, and you can see there is no problem here. No, so there's still a problem. Okay, because we have a problem here. Okay, just hold on. Okay, so there's no error there, and there should not be an error here as well. Okay, it says unhandled exception. So I'm throwing exception here. We should not do that. We'll be using try catch to handle the exception, and we'll say try catch because see, whenever you throw the exception, then someone else has to handle the exception, right? In fact, why I'm doing all this thing here? Why even have to handle the exception? First of all, I don't want to use all these things, right? We are using Hibernate. I will not be doing all these things. Okay, why we are even doing this? We are using Hibernate here. So we'll not be using any DDBC code here. So I got this question. So I'm saying save question, I'm passing Q. So this thing, the DAO layer will be having the object of, so in this, I need object of what? So let me just go to the DAO layer of feedback, which we have already done. And you can see whenever you want to work with the Hibernate, we have to get object of @autowired session factory. Let's do that. Let's keep it. Let's paste it here. So we got the object of session factory. And what we'll do now is, let me check with my interns. On the server, Amazon web server, what's the type of the question ID? Is it string or integer? Okay, so I guess it is string on the server as well. Okay, so what I will do now is I will say, okay, I will copy this code from, so we all love copy pasting, right? So I will copy this code, these 2 lines from here, these 2 lines, okay, and we'll paste it here. So I'll be using session object, and then instead of saving the object of FB, we'll save the object of question. Okay, so done. But then the only annotation we have to use here is add transactional. So whenever you work with Hibernate, we have to use _transactional, right? And everything seems good here. This should work, at least for the database I have in my system, right? So let me just run this code. Let's see what happens if I save the question. But then how do we verify if the question is saved? Okay, we have to verify that with the database, right? So I will right click this. I will say run as unknown server. So click on finish. Okay, and if I say question.htm, it will request for the question now, and if it will call a page, first of all, it's taking some time, but it will call a page, and we got an error. It says question controller unsatisfied dependency, which is QDAO. Oh, we are left with one more thing. So when you say we have to create a when you want to create an object of question DAO, we have to use add component, right? We forgot to add a component there. Same goes with question. Okay, we don't need a component here. We need a component, right? Because if you remember, when we have created the feedback DAO, at that point itself, we have used @component. So let me just restart the server. We'll say run as a run server. Okay, let me just call the old request. Let me just call question.htm. And if you can call that, you can see you'll be getting a page now. Okay, so I will say question 101 and some question and some option, some option, some option, some option. We'll click on submit. Oh, again, we got an error. It says a class must be manually assigned before calling save. Okay, identifier. So we have not mentioned the identifier. This is all our Hibernate errors. So whenever you create a question class, you have to use an entity annotation, right? So you have to mention @entity, and then you have to also mention @id. So whenever you have primary key, you have to mention @id as well, right? Okay, so just taking some time for what? Okay, so let me just restart the server once again. Okay, it is a bad day, I guess. It's nothing working the way we wanted it to work, so we're getting lots of errors. Okay, let me just go here and let's say enter, and I hope it will not give you any error now. It's running, it's running, it's running. I guess it is connecting with my server, and we got an error. Okay, well, is it an error? Okay, it says, now this time we are getting error for feedback. Why feedback? I'm not calling, oh, it is calling add feedback. That's weird. That is weird, actually. When I say question, it should call add question, right? So it should be add question. Just hold on. I guess in the design we have not changed. So it should be add question. Let's restart. Yeah. Okay, let me just forward this request. Okay, now what is the issue? The issue would be with, okay, this is the earlier error which we got. I'm running this once again. Okay, and now this time we got an error as well. Okay, why are we getting error? We are not calling for, okay. It is still using feedback. I'm calling for question, right? What's wrong? Okay, when I say add question, when I click on submit, it should call question only. And okay, and then in the question controller, I'm calling, okay, we got question. Oh, that is save question, not add question. But then, okay, that is save question. My mistake this time. You know, just doing live something is very risky. So let's say enter now, and I hope it will work. It is running very slow. Oh, again we are getting error. So why we are getting error for feedback? Nothing wrong here. I'm not saving the feedback here. Oh, it is request is still passing as save feedback. My bad. That should be save question.html. Let's enter. Oh, finally. You can see the error is something different. It's not able to find print question, right? So let's verify that with our PG admin. Let's say, okay, let me just open this question table. So if I right click this and if I say view source, not view source, if I say view all data, oh, we have not got the data here. That's weird. It says it has inserted all the data, but then what's wrong? Let's do that once again, refresh. Oh, it is inserting blank data? That's weird. What's going wrong here? We are saying save, then we are saying it transactional. We got save question. Oh, the things are not matching the design. Okay. Okay. What we'll do is there's lots of issues with this design. Okay. We can do it here. Okay, let's do it here. Okay, as you can see, this is not matching, right? So you can see if you're okay. What we'll do now is okay. Let's do one more thing. We'll do this tomorrow itself. What I want is I want you people to complete this. Because there are lots of issues with the design page. I need to change the design. I want to change the variable names. Okay, what I would suggest is we'll continue with this tomorrow. And I want you people to complete this code. So you will get the earlier code from the GitHub. So if you can just go to GitHub. I mean, every one of you got the thing, right? What I want from you people. So this is the link where you will get the project. I want to add questions in the database, and I want to also fetch the questions from the database. These are two things I want from you people. Okay, so submit these two things because I forgot to change the design. Okay, so just check out just check out the project from here. This is the last. This is the yesterday's project, and tomorrow we'll start this from the scratch, and let's see how it goes tomorrow. So I'm ending the session here. Let's continue this tomorrow.